If you've ever wondered what really happens to your child when you yell, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 hidden ways yelling affects your child. Stick around, because once you see what yelling actually does to your child, you'll feel more motivated than ever to handle tough moments calmly. Number 1. It alters brain function. Did you know that yelling can physically damage your child's brain? I know that sounds shocking, but it's true. Research shows that harsh verbal discipline, like yelling, creates so much stress that the parts of a child's brain responsible for handling emotions and learning can actually stop developing properly or not work the way they should. For example, kids who are yelled at a lot may struggle to calm down when they're upset or find it hard to focus and learn in school. And here's something most parents don't really know. The damage isn't just about how loud we get, it's also about what we say when we're yelling. When we're angry, we sometimes say things that cut deep, like, "Why are you always like this?" Or "You never do anything right." Words like that stick. They shape how our children see themselves, and sadly, they can echo in their minds for years. Just imagine that for a second. Our words and tone can literally shape how our child's brain grows and functions. That's powerful, and honestly, a little scary when you think about it. It goes even deeper than that. When kids feel like they always have to watch out for the next yelling or outburst, their brain goes into survival mode. What do I mean by survival mode? It means they just want to run away, fight back, or shut down completely. And when they're stuck in survival mode, they can't really focus or learn, because their brain's too busy trying to keep them safe. Let me share a quick story. Maybe you can relate. When I was little, my mom used to help me with my homework. But if I made a mistake, she'd yell at me. And boom! Half my brain wasn't even on the homework anymore. It was too busy thinking, what if she yells again? What if I get in trouble? How can I stay safe? So instead of focusing on learning, my brain was stuck in survival mode. And believe me, that makes it way harder to concentrate. And I get it. Sometimes yelling feels like the quickest way to get your child's attention, or make them stop what they're doing. Maybe they're arguing with a sibling, throwing toys, or ignoring you for the 10th time. And in that moment, it can seem like yelling works, because they freeze or stop right away. But here's the truth. They're not stopping because they understand. They're stopping because they're scared or shocked. So, what does this quick fix cost you later on? When you yell at your child, it creates deep emotional distress. Things like anxiety, self-doubt, and a fear of making mistakes. And that kind of stress? It does more harm than good. I know this because I've seen it, not just in other families, but in my own life growing up. That kind of distress is much harder to heal later on. It leaves kids stuck in a cycle of anxiety and a constant fear of disappointing others. That's why so many adults who were yelled at as kids still feel anxious about making mistakes and doubt themselves. Instead of feeling confident enough to try something new, they freeze up, because their brain learned to stay tense and always expect trouble. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And understanding this is the first step to healing and breaking the cycle for good. Because here's the truth about how yelling affects you as a parent. It creates something called parent deafness. When you yell all the time, your child's brain starts to tune you out just to protect themselves. They start to think, "Oh, this yelling happens all the time. I don't really have to listen. I'll just tune it out." And when yelling turns into background noise, your words lose their power. It's like you're talking, but they're not really listening. And guess what? When those kids become teens, they tune you out even more. And when that happens, discipline feels even more exhausting for you. Because you're repeating yourself, yelling more, and still not getting through. So parents end up feeling frustrated and say, "Fine, I'll just punish or threaten more." But that backfires, because instead of listening, kids shut down or push back, which only makes things worse. And honestly, this stage can be really hard on parents too. It's a draining cycle for everyone caught in it. Now imagine this instead. You speak in a calm, kind voice, and your child actually stops and listens. How amazing would it feel if they heard you the very first time? Because now your words really matter. Do you want to make this happen? Grab the emotional regulation worksheet in the description. It'll help you turn your words from background noise into calm guidance that your child truly listens to. Number 2. Yelling damages trust. When you yell, your child might do what you say in the moment, but deep down it weakens the trust between you two. Instead of feeling safe to come to you with problems, they start to hide things or pull away. Funny enough, some parents believe kids should fear them. Like fear will stop them from making mistakes. But here's the truth. Fear doesn't create real respect. It just shuts kids down. When kids obey out of fear, they're not really learning self-control or building strong values. They're just learning how to avoid punishment, not how to make good choices from the heart. And over time, that fear creates distance. As they grow, they may disconnect from you, from your values, even from the family or faith you worked so hard to build around them, because what they learned was based on fear, not trust. When a child fears us, they stop trusting us. They start looking for connection and safety elsewhere. And that's not what any loving parent truly wants. Let's be honest. You want your child to come to you for advice, for reassurance, for those big life decisions. But that only happens when they feel safe, when they know they can talk to you without fear of harsh words or shame. You want your child to trust you, not just their friends, social media, or the internet. Why? Because you're the one with real-life experience and the wisdom they actually need. But here's the problem. When a child feels that their parent is someone to fear, not trust, they start looking elsewhere for guidance. And let's be real. Some of these sources might not line up with the values you're trying so hard to teach at home. Number 3. Yelling erodes self-esteem. Another serious effect of yelling, and one many parents don't see at first, is how it quietly destroys a child's self-esteem. See, the words we say, the tone we use, the way we discipline. All of that shapes how our kids see themselves for life. When kids hear yelling a lot, they don't just hear noise. They hear hidden messages like, I'm bad. I'm not good enough. I can't do anything right. And over time, these words slowly weaken and wear down their self-worth. They start to believe they deserve harsh words, that it's normal to be yelled at, criticized, or compared to someone else. And they carry that heavy feeling with them into school, friendships, and even adulthood. It often shows up as low confidence, constantly trying to please others, or letting people treat them badly, because deep down they don't believe they deserve better. And here's the thing, it's not just about yelling. Some discipline habits, like shaming, can be just as harmful as yelling. Saying things like, you're so bad, or why can't you be like your brother, or you're a disgrace. That doesn't teach your child how to do better. It just crushes their spirit. When you shame a child at home, you're not just stopping misbehavior. You're shutting them down inside. And kids who are shut down at home often become timid or anxious around other people too. And here's the hard truth. If a child doesn't feel secure and valued at home, they're more likely to get bullied, to follow the wrong crowd, or to let other people treat them badly, because deep down, they feel like they deserve it. So here's what I always tell parents. Discipline must teach, not shame. Correct the behavior, yes, but protect your child's self-worth while you do it. If yelling is your go-to, just know it's tearing down your child's confidence every single day. So remember, the way you discipline at home shapes who your child believes they are. That's why working on your own emotions is so important. You can't guide your child calmly and respectfully if you haven't learned how to handle your own anger or frustration first. And if you're not sure where to start, I've got you. Grab my emotional regulation worksheet to help you stay calm, speak kindly, and still hold firm boundaries. Because when you stay calm, you protect that self-esteem that helps them grow up strong and secure. Number 4. Yelling teaches aggression. When we yell, our kids are learning from us, whether we realize it or not. Kids learn how to handle big emotions by watching us. So if they see us shouting when we're angry, they'll believe yelling is normal. And what happens next? They'll shout back at us, yell at their siblings, or even fight with friends at school. In some cases, they might even become bullies, because home taught them that threats and shouting are how you get people to listen. It changes their behavior. When yelling happens a lot, it actually shapes a child's behavior in two main ways. First, some kids become aggressive or defiant. They copy what they see. They fight more, shout more, and use threats to get their way. And on the other side, some kids shut down. They keep quiet to keep the peace at all cost. They become people pleasers, afraid of conflict, and unable to stand up for themselves, which can make them easy targets for bullies later in life. Research shows kids who bully others, or get bullied, often come from homes with lots of shouting, threats, or harsh punishments. They're just repeating what they've learned. So, what's the takeaway? Yelling is really just an expression of anger, but it's not healthy anger management. When we yell, we're showing our kids that this is how you handle frustration, by losing control. But what they really need is a calm guide. Someone who models how to pause, breathe, and handle anger in a healthy way. Before we jump into number 5, if this is helping you so far, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps more parents see this too. Number 5. Yelling damages the parent-child relationship. A strong, loving bond is what helps your child feel safe, secure, and deeply loved. It's what gives them the courage to grow, explore, and know they can always come back to you, no matter what. It's also what makes your child care about your words and your guidance. But yelling creates emotional distance between you and your child. And over time, that distance weakens the trust and connection they need to come to you. Especially when life gets hard. Each outburst pushes your child a little further away. They might stop coming to you for comfort. They may hold back their feelings or hide the truth, or even lie, just to avoid another outburst. It breaks down communication. When yelling becomes normal, your child doesn't feel safe enough to share what's really in their heart. Instead of telling you what's going on, they might keep secrets or stay silent because they're afraid of getting yelled at again. And that leaves you out of their world, the very place where you should be their safe guide. I'm not sharing these effects of yelling to make you feel guilty or ashamed. Not at all. I've been there too, so I know exactly how it feels. So yes, let's be aware of how yelling affects our kids, but let's drop the guilt. Use this as a chance to learn, grow, and repair. What do I mean? When you mess up, use it as a learning moment. Show your child that everyone makes mistakes, and everyone can make it right. The fact that you're here, watching this, means you care, and that's what matters most. You want to learn and do better, and that alone makes you a good parent. And that's exactly why I'm sharing a clear, step-by-step guide on how to repair after yelling, so you can rebuild trust and connection with your child. Click right here to watch it now.